Hey guys, welcome to Golfing on a Budget episode 2. No, episode 3. I don't know, I've got them in the wrong order, but I'm going to be trying out the V-100 Slazenger golf balls now in my... I've actually unboxed the other ones before I unboxed these, but I've decided to put these first because they feel a little bit more premium. I don't know whether it's because it's Slazenger or whether it's just because I'm looking at it a bit differently. And you'll probably see why in one of the future episodes, why I think it probably will be. But these are they're wrapped a bit tackily. 2 for £10. You saw me buy 2, and yeah, I'm kind of hopeful for these. They're all white. The other ones are yellow, which is I need balls that I'm going to be able to see in the rough because I lose balls all the time, and I like the fact that these are nice and cheap. And hopefully the wind isn't too bad on this. Otherwise, I'm going to struggle with the audio, and I might have to voice over a bit of it. Two things that these balls have had in common is that they're not individually wrapped. Not that it has to be, you know what I'm saying, but I've unboxed balls in the past where it's come in like little small boxes of 3, like 4 boxes of 3 or however many. So apologies guys, I've had to dub over the audio just because of how windy it was. But I did buy the golf balls because I know that's quite a rugged test. And I did find these balls to be very soft, which is something that I'll describe in a minute. So I was reading the back of the packaging, and it says it was meant to be really soft touch. From a hand, it felt pretty soft. And in a minute, I do go in to describe the dimples and how they are effective. So I'm looking at the V-100 distance golf balls. The dimples usually are more bowl shaped, if that makes any sense. It looks like a ball's print imprinted, but these feel more like a circle that's been pressed in, and they feel quite flat. So hopefully that helps the ball flight. So as you can see, we started off with some chip shots using the wedge. Like I said in the previous video, I was getting used to using this wedge when these thingies were took, when these videos were took or taken. One thing I was trying to get used to with the white balls is the way that the ball came off the club and the way the ball travelled in the air. Now you'll be able to see over the next sort of like couple of minutes. It's got 5 or 6 minutes of clips that I've got to sort of audio over and explain. But the ball flight was a little bit strange. It carried what I'd usually expect it to carry, but then it rolled very far. Like you see, that bounced way before the pin, and it rolled a lot. So spin control is something that the club says isn't its strong point, and it definitely isn't. They're not wrong when they say it's not very good. However, doesn't mean that you can't accommodate for that. Cheap balls are not going to be amazing, are they? So just a few more chip shots for you. I've put the chip shots first, and then I've put the putts later on. As you can see from that initial shot, I expected it to roll a little bit further, so consistency was getting a bit of an issue, and this was a much longer chip shot for me. So I was trying to get used to the distance, and I think these are the 4 worst chip shots I've ever had in my life. You could see, I think from these shots specifically, you can see how far the ball rolls. Even after it bounces and it rolls quite a long way. It doesn't really stop too much, which I'd expect with the club that I was using because I was trying out the loft wedge. So especially with this one, you can see I try and get a bit of distance on it, and it rolls way off camera and down into a ditch, which wasn't amazing. Putting wise, however, they felt really clean, really soft. Really came off the club face very well. So putting wise, especially because the greens that we were using weren't particularly fast greens, they were quite slow. I was getting used to putting really effectively on this. Some of the clips, when we get to it on the course, you'll see that I do fall short quite a bit. But I think that's got more to do with the putting surface rather than the actual balls of the club. They roll really smooth. They tend to stay quite straight. They're not affected too much by the level of the green. And I know the camera's shaking at the minute, I do apologise. It was a very windy day. I get really close with quite a few of the putts, as you can see, and confidence is good both with the club and with the ball that you're using. So you'll see in the next episode the Anesis balls and how I fared with those. But overall, with the white balls, I am impressed. They're nice and cheap. they are good to use, and you know you can't really go wrong with them. So I'll just let you watch the next couple of putts with a little bit of silence. As you just saw there, the farmer that I was talking to earlier on in the day found a ball in one of the little sheds and decided he wanted to chuck it me. It wasn't a very good ball, not gonna lie. I think it was like a sponsored ball for the club. But putting wise, it is going really well. They are really straight. I know the green wasn't too unlevel, but it was flying quite straight. So I decided to take this last ball. It wasn't close enough for me. I wanted to see how good I could get it. And I do take a putt. You can't quite see the ball initially, but I wanted to center the camera a little bit. And I can't remember. I think I get this one close. I'm not too sure. And it's annoying me, that bit of plastic that's sticking out my back pocket. It was close, yeah. Like I said, I expected it to break a little bit left. And I decided to try some long putts. Again, this way I was expecting it to break ever so right, but it didn't quite catch it. So I'm trying to adjust for that, and I think I get one or two pretty close. I think that one hits it bit too hard for me. I think once you do put a bit of power, it's hard to stop the ball, which is one of the downsides to the ball. Is if you want, spin control, and you do rely a little bit on controlling it close to the pin, getting it to stop dead. Very often, I don't think the white balls are going to be preferable to you specifically. But like I say, nice and cheap. This is what this whole series is about, and that putt was just absolutely abysmal. Now we're going on to the first tee. You'll see a little bit of a review on all of the shots that I've taken or videoed. But this first shot with the white ball, I just do want to point out that I do slice it pretty right. That was because of my contact with the ball. It lands just to the sort of middle right of the camera, and I do explain at this point that the ball itself feels really, really nice to hit. It clicks really well with the clubs, and I know this is a really poor choice of clubs here. However, I've done the same shot because I had a very similar shot with the yellow balls off the tee, and so I wanted to sort of compare the two shots from there, and that was a really, really bad recovery shot, so that was my own fault. But the ball itself clicks really well when you hit it. You want that nice little ding every time you hit the ball, and you do get it with this. You'll see in my next video with the Anesis ball, it's not quite the same. However, I just wanted to show you a few shots off the tee and how good it flies. It does fly really straight. This one I think was my best shot. I think I've got the clip next of me on the green. Yep, look at how close that landed to the pin. I was really, really happy with myself. Just a nice little putt, but again, falls a little bit short because the greens are a little bit different compared to the putting green that I was trialling out on. And the course I use is very nice. Driving it, this is the worst drive I've ever hit. I think I lost the ball. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but I just wanted to put it in so you guys could see that it does fly, it does go well. It went very, very right. Now this again is another one of those shots where you've probably seen it before on the loft wedge clips, but I hit this very nice that landed pretty close to the pin. It didn't travel too far. There was a nice little putt afterwards. This is completely different green, but again I just thought I'd include a few clips of me putting and give my overall review. I'd rate this for probably like a 3.5, 4 star in terms of quality. You can hit it nice. The spin control, it really does let it down. And this clip had me in stitches because I've never hit it as far as I have. I think I'm using a pitching wedge right now. And I hit it, and it flies really straight, and I'm fuming, and it lands right there in the water. Bit of a splash, and I was so upset. But yeah, 5-star value for money, 4-star in terms of quality. So, the Slazenger V-100 golf ball. first impressions, I did like it. Now, I'm going to go into a bit more detail now that I'm discussing it about the ball and how I found them. So, off the bat, I noticed the dimples. Usually, dimples look like they've been impressed and they're like a little dome. I tried to describe this in the video to some degree. Instead, it looks like, say you've got the bottom of this, it looks like you've just got something flat and pressed it in. So you've got this how can I describe it? You've got like a groove that goes in and then it's flat and then top of the groove and just loads of them placed around the ball instead of it being like that, if that makes any sense. So like, whoop, whoop, whoop. I don't know how to describe it. You might have to buy them to understand, but they're not dome shaped, they're not like imprinted. Whether that helps distance or not, I'm not too sure. It seemed to fly very straight. I mean, I did shank it and hit the ball in different directions loads. That's my own personal issues. That's my bad golfing. However, I did find that once they bounced, they rolled a long way. So for drives and long irons, that's good because you can ping it and then it'll roll. If you need to get it to bounce just before the green and then roll onto the green, excellent choice. If you're having one of those days where you're struggling to find the distance, perfect. On the other hand, if you're having one of those days where distance isn't much of an issue and you want more spin control, wouldn't go with it at all. It did let it down a lot. You saw on a lot of those little chips that it was bouncing and then it was just rolling in eternity. For the greens I was playing on as well, you saw how some of them putts like stopped short because it was quite a thick green surface. It's not the best. It's not going to roll for a year. But it was going so far and it was rolling really far. But for me, I like that because I don't mind how close I get to the pin because my putting's not too bad. My close approach is bad. So I don't mind ones that I can hit it just before the green and it will roll on and most of the time over the green because I'm not very good at golf. But for the most part, Slazenger V-100 golf ball, highly recommend. I'm tempted for the next series to pick up the 2 for £18. The 48 balls. Just try them out. Not go to a driving range. Go to a golf course. Try the different ones out to see how they fare against these. Might do a bit of a comparison, side by side comparison. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and I shall see you later. Goodbye.